I will never not call out fucking bullshit bullies. Like, if you're going to go on Twitter and call people poor and unemployed, I'm going to stand up for the people who are poor and unemployed. I will never not do that.
Are you ready, Carla Marie?
Are we ready to do this?
Yeah.
This is all my fault.
Not really.
I'm kidding. I know. So, we'll pull up my tweet in a second, but obviously, just a quick backstory. I've talked about having Dogecoin because my sister and niece told me to buy it in January, and I put $50 into it. And like at one point this weekend, I had $4,000. I don't anymore.
Yeah, it's all gone. Basically.
It's all good. Whatever. It's been fun for me to watch. I can take it out whenever I want. Whatever. So on Friday, I tweeted, "What should I do with my Doge? Should I sell? Like waiting? I didn't even spell right. Like that's what I tweeted.
You spelled more like That's what you spelled.
So that is the tweet.
Yeah, very simple.
This was Friday afternoon.
You gotta slow it down though.
That tweet apparently was triggering for a former coworker.
This is the tweet.
This is what started it.
That was the response to Carla Marie asking what to do with her Dogecoin.
Why? I don't give a beep about Doge, because when you and your boy, which is I'm assuming Anthony, were doing AMs on Power, Matty Satz was talking that Pittman Radio, which is iHeartRadio's CEO. He tagged his boss, his CEO. iHeartRadio money, stacking sats. I don't know what's happening here. Hashtag strong. And you was too busy trying to kick me out of the studio to do your, I think that means show, when I was talking to crypto pros.
So I'm going to explain, because I don't think even you remembered, Carla Marie, what he was talking about.
I was like, what is this? I literally, go ahead, Anthony.
So, and this
Keep that up, actually.
Keep this one.
Yeah, so everyone can read it.
So, I remembered that there was a time where, this is no joke, 3, maybe 4 years ago.
I just started Side Hustlers, I think.
Yeah, and there's a studio space in the iHeartRadio Seattle office, at the time at least, that it was like a shared space. So if you weren't doing your show and you needed to record a different show or a podcast or have a guest, that's what you used and you had to reserve it.
Guys, it gets better.
From what I remember, went over his allotted time, and Carla Marie had to go in because she had a guest for Side Hustlers. And it didn't at the time seem like a big deal. He wrapped up
I thought
his
it was
podcast.
opposite. I thought he didn't reserve space and I was in there.
He, from what I remember, wrapped up his podcast and like that was it. And I guess he has been angry about that moment for the last 3 or 4 years, so much so that he had to tweet about it over the weekend. And
he has a podcast where he talks about cryptocurrency, so that's what he is referencing in here. Still, dude, what the hell?
So we're going to go to Carla Marie's response, which is this.
Are you okay?
That was the only thing that you responded at first, right?
Yes.
And as you can see, he says, I'm high AF on Bitcoin. And there's something that we need to discuss.
And for the record, I tweeted at just him. He had tagged the former company. He tagged the CEO. I was not going to reply with them in there. There's just no reason. So I saved his own ass by removing them from that tweet.
Just by looking at his response, his first response obviously it was just a bunch of words. Like a toddler could have written that. The second response, I'm high AF on Bitcoin.
I didn't even see the Bitcoin. I just thought he said he was high.
It's just, it gets to a point that, yes, I am so happy if you made money on crypto, if you've been in it for a couple of years, if you've been in it for like 9 years, congratulations. I think that's as long as it's been out or whatever. Just because you made a lot of money on crypto doesn't mean that you are unbelievably smart or better than anyone. That's it. You took a gamble.
You got lucky.
And it worked out. And guess what? You may have done some research and you know about how crypto works, which is like only 20% of America, I believe. But congratulations, you have money. You're still yourself. If you were
Bitcoin
dumb before,
is culty. It's culty.
If you were dumb before you made a bunch of money, you're still dumb. If you were not a nice person before, you're still not nice. You just have more money.
So 100%.
Fake money, but
100%. And Anthony and I were, when I tell you, we had probably the most fun we've had since our St. Patrick's Day stream. We were crying. So he says this, and then I think this is when Anthony comes in.
I finally jumped in because I'm like, this guy's just being an absolute a-hole. Also, he dragged me into it for the record.
When
it's
he said
like
he could have been talking about someone else.
I don't think about the studio.
Your boy?
So there's going to be 2 tweets we pull up next. This is my response. And I said, hey, Matt, I know that tweet probably made sense in your head, because I think this happens to a lot of people, especially when they're in a rage, is you have this thing in your brain, this response that makes sense because you're connecting all the dots in your own head. But then it goes out to the world and no one else is connecting the same dots. And I was being very sincere, where I said, I know that tweet probably made sense in your head. I get it. But to everyone else, it seems completely unhinged, which it did. If you're still mad about some studio space over 3 years ago, I don't know what to tell you. And
this is where it turns. This is where I took it up a notch after this.
And we tagged his boss, basically, and said,
you
come,
did? Yeah,
I
yeah.
did. Said, come get your boy. Because we have been called into meetings for
Way less.
We were called into meetings just for posting at a business that wasn't, working with iHeartRadio, and they were mad that we did that, where it was just something that we did. So we definitely know that most radio managers, the second something weird is tweeted, will jump at it.
And mind you, this is where I started getting in my head going, dude, I have nothing to lose right now.
Yeah, that's also true.
I am sitting here on a Friday night. At this point, I think I was at P.F. Chang's drinking a sparkling rosé, having the Friday night of my life, and you're coming at me, bro. You have an entire whole ass job to lose. So now he tweets back.
He tweets back to me, bro, it's called sarcasm. Didn't know you're so weak to get butt hurt, which there should have been 2 B's. That's what I'm seeing in the chat. Yeah. I suggest you find a job on air, buy some Bitcoin, have fun staying poor. And that's where I was like, all right, you're done.
This is when
I need people to know this, because normally I try to avoid friction like this. Normally I'm like, I just don't need it in my life. But
I welcomed this, though. I did.
I said this to Carla Marie on Friday. I'm sure you've heard the term fuck around and find out.
Yes.
I have a trigger, or a switch, I should say, where I'm totally normal. And then I am the human embodiment of fuck around and find out. I will destroy anything in my path once that switch is flipped. And that's when he flipped the switch.
Yep.
Carla Marie retweets him, and this is the next tweet.
I tagged the company, my former boss, who is everyone's boss in the market, and his local boss, and said, you guys have a cancel button for this guy or nah? Hashtag cyberbully. And that was it. Because I kept saying, Anthony, I was like, don't tag everyone. We don't need to do this. And then I was like, hell to the no.
Yeah. And the reason that we're going through all the tweets now, by the way, is because someone I assume, whether it's someone in his family or someone that he works with, got to him and said, you should probably delete these tweets. And he went through and started deleting them, which then makes us look crazy because we're responding to tweets that don't exist.
I know, I had to go delete them too.
So then I had to go delete all of my tweets. So after he does his whole, it's sarcasm, bro, blah, 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 called me poor, I respond after Carla Marie does.
I'm just perplexed that this person has a job.
Well, and we're going to get into that in a second. Once we get through, we're almost done with the tweets, and then we have our final word. Essentially.
I should have prepared something.
And thank you for actually hanging out here with us as we go through all the Twitter beef. So this is what I said next. And I added another boss. After firing me, it'd be nice if you kept your current staff from throwing salt on the wound, flaunting his wealth, and calling me poor because I lost my job. Classy. Which really all of it comes down to, don't try to belittle me or anyone else who lost our jobs because you made
during a panini
successful gamble on Bitcoin. And I've heard from a lot of people who know this person who said, yeah, basically he was crazy before, and after he made a bunch of money on Bitcoin, he's completely lost it in the way that he treats people and talks to people.
We're not insecure about the fact that we are unemployed.
No.
It does suck to an extent because I have to pay for health insurance every month, but whatever.
But there's also a ton of people who are still working in that place who are telling us how lucky we are to not be there anymore.
And
this
I'm
is
not
proof of that.
There are very few things, maybe 2, that I miss about my previous job. I love what we are doing. I love what's coming up for us. Yes, I have an underlying anxiety over all of it, but nah, I am way happier than I was.
After we both responded to him and tagged his bosses, he hits us with the very classy, where do I send the tissues? with a picture of Stay Strong tissues, which, whatever.
So, by the way, he changed his Twitter name, changed everything. He doesn't even have the station name on his social.
Because he's full Bitcoin now?
Sats in crypto is short for Satoshis, which is the smallest unit of Bitcoin. One Sats equals 100 millionth of a Bitcoin. So,
Matty Sats is an ode to his Bitcoin?
I didn't even know who was coming at me at first. I was like, who is this man? And I was like, he's talking about my show and he's tagging the CEO of my former company. Oh my God.
He took a screenshot of one of my replies on Twitter, posted it to Facebook with no context or anything like that. So he took this response, which you remember seeing earlier, where I told him that he seemed completely unhinged, and said that former coworkers were trolling him because of Bitcoin.
Yeah, he's
you
like unemployed. He said unemployed coworkers. I can't read it; it's too small. But in the yellow,
people who are unemployed and have no Bitcoin who troll me on Twitter, which isn't what actually happened. For the record, it's not like he was posting about Bitcoin and I was like, "Oh, I'm so unemployed and poor. You're an idiot." Like that. None of that happened. And the funniest part is people who either worked with him in the past or work with him now after all the tweets were deleted, but they had probably, people text and message and forward messages to one another, were asking me what happened, like what triggered him. And I was like, it is the weirdest thing in the world because I have no idea why he got so mad. And I do have to say this, up until Friday, we had a very positive relationship with the guy.
Personally,
he drove me home one day when I was at the studio late. Like, it made no sense.
Dude, radio people, and I say this as being one of them, are like one smidge. You're either full-blown talent or batshit fucking crazy.
Which sometimes looks like you're talented.
And there is a fine line, and sometimes you see it come out.
There's a lot of text on the screen. So I saw that he screenshotted me and put me on Facebook specifically with my tweet. So I decided to say, hey, this is the guy from that tweet. Explain the screenshot and how that's not what it was. I wasn't trolling him for having Bitcoin. But then, and this is where I was like, all right, you want to fuck around and find out? Here we go. I said, while I'm here, Matt is also the guy who screams at his coworkers in the office, fires off rude and condescending emails anytime he's slightly inconvenienced, and drives in the bus lane because he's too important to be delayed by things like traffic laws. Class act. And you know what? That was when some people were like, wow, you really went at him. And I said, at some point, you got to rip the Band-Aid off and tell people who they are. Yeah. And that's exactly what happened. And all of those things are individually verifiable and true.
Apparently, he drove in the bus lane to work one day. And a former coworker, at the time we all worked together. A coworker saw him and called him out in the office. I witnessed this part. And Matty Sats lost his fucking shit. But he was the one screaming. I mean, you might as well have thought that this coworker murdered his dog. But he was mad that he got called out. Hence what happened here.
There's a bunch of things that you guys said in the Twitch chat that I want to go back to. One, and this is a very real thing to consider. Let me put us back on the screen. Sometimes you look at unhinged tweets like that and you think to yourself, A, this person is an a-hole. B, maybe they need help. Mm-hmm. And I don't want to make fun of that because here's the thing. He might actually need some help. And from everyone that we've talked to, that's kind of the general idea that people have. Like, he can be very nice at times, and then he just loses it. But at some point, either the company that keeps telling him to remove tweets and trying to make him act differently,
enabling him,
has to step in and say, hey, we're going to help you get the professional assistance that you need, or his family has to come in and say, hey, we think you're fantastic, but you might need to work on this, and we're going to help you find that. It is not up to the people who get bullied by those people to find that person help.
No.
So that's number one.
Right.
And
I did ask if he was okay. You're right, Liv.
Yeah. And number two, this is one of the problems that I believe is going to plague radio until it's finally handled. They need to stop employing people who come with warning labels or disclaimers. At some point, if you can't be trusted among other people, you don't deserve to have that job until you handle your shit. Mm-hmm. That's
truth.
You can't keep saying, oh, well, he's just this, or he's a little crazy, or sometimes he flies off the handles. Because guess what? That person is in a space with other human beings.
And a lot of times the radio's like, yeah, but they're just funny on the air. That's what's great on the air. And it's like, yeah, on the air is now 10 seconds of an hour for that person. The rest of the world, the rest of the coworkers need to actually deal with this person on a professional level. And it's unfair for other people. And this is what creates toxic work environments in radio.
And
it's absurd.
The example that Carla Marie gave where someone called him out for driving in the bus lane before he got to work and then he exploded on that person still had to go into the studio and do their job after being just berated for like 20 minutes and screamed at. So it's not an isolated incident. The way you treat people affects the way that they go about the rest of their day, their week, their month, their year. Now I sound like the Friends intro, but you can't keep people around who need warning labels, especially if you're not going to help them handle the issues that they have.
I did have a moment of like, I felt bad. Now that I felt bad, I said to Anthony, I'm like, there's a chance he gets fired and we need to prepare ourselves for this.
I thought of that.
And Anthony was like, yeah, but he did it to himself. And yeah, we kept it going, but dude, you started the fire. That's your own problem.
Well, the other part of it is sometimes it could be the smallest straw, but it'll still break the camel's back. And I don't think I've ever actually used that saying seriously, but at some point you have a track record that is verifiable and long enough where all it takes is a situation like this for someone to finally say, you know what? This is just not what we need in our office. And we've dealt with you and protected you long enough. It's time for you to say goodbye.
I had a friend send me this screenshot. It's not a screenshot, a meme. Sometimes a toddler will suddenly declare their love for a random show and make it their entire identity, like they are an adult who's into cryptocurrency.
Yeah.
Lee said, the poor comment bothered me the most out of all of it. As someone who grew up extremely poor, shaming the poor just makes you a shit human being. Truth. Yeah. And BCJ Cup keeps saying, stop talking about him. You're making him famous.
Oh, that's...
No, here's the thing. I will never not call out fucking bullshit bullies. Like, if you're going to go on Twitter and call people poor and unemployed, I'm going to stand up for the people who are poor and unemployed. I will never not do that. I don't care who I am, where I am, what. I will forever do that. We are talking about him because I have friends and former coworkers who were mentally abused by this man, and nothing has been done about it.
And then we do want to end, by the way, because that took like the whole show, basically. We are going to end with a game.
Hell yeah.
And it's, I think, Carla Marie's favorite game.
Can I have an example card?
Oh, yeah.
When we've done.
Yeah, here.
So with this game, it's kind of like a speak up, but without the mouth thing. So, for example, the card will say this, and I have to read it like that. And the answer, by the way, for this was, make America great again.
A minute to see as many as I can get. You can guess in the chat. We're only allowed to use the chat once, I think.
Okay.
Okay?
Okay. Fit he sheds off Cray.
What?
Fit he sheds off Cray.
50 Shades of Grey.
Yes! Lace underway her.
Lace underwear.
Tech heel atot. This is blue.
Blue?
Tech heel hutot. Tequila tot.
Tequila shot.
Yeah.
Woo, I'm crushing it.
Hot tub oxing.
Hot tub time machine?
Oh, no. Hot tub oxing. Hot tub oxing.
Hot boxing.
Yeah.
Okay.
We had that last week in the other game. Call it tore his.
Clitoris. Yes?
Why did you get that? Hid's not Hugh wets May. Oh. Hid's not Hugh wets May.
It's not you, it's me.
Yes, Tom!
We got all
6!
Woo! Look at...
Time.
I'm just going to keep hitting that.
That's the best you've ever done.
That is, yeah.
Damn. That might be our best showing of anything. I can't hear, so...
Why not?
Like, my ears are broken, I think, so I'm not going to be able to hear.
Go for it. Huffog Auto Host.
Fog Auto Host?
Huffog Auto Host.
Say it again now that you
Huffog Auto Host. Huffog Auto Toast. I'll skip for now.
I'm so bad at this game!
Bumpkin Spice Slot Day.
Pumpkin Spice Latte!
There you go.
Oh.
Highlight Kit Her Off.
I like it.
Highlight Kit Her Off. It's the kinky version. Highlight Kit Her Off.
Something about get her off.
Highlight Kit Her Off. Highlight Kit Her Off. I don't know if there's a... I'll skip it for now. Aim Hole Beats. Aim Hole Beats.
Anal beats? Anal beats!
Anal Beats is correct. Par Dave Owl. Par Dave Owl.
Party vowel? Party foul!
Party Foul. Be Her Bong.
Beer pong.
Beer Pong. Huffog Auto
Oh, it's
Toast.
avocado toast.
Okay.
Chat told me.
And the
What is
last
that?
one was
I like it
was
rough.
Highlight Kit Her Off. And it's supposed to be I Like It Rough. That one was tough. But you got 5. That is actually pretty good, Carla Marie.
Okay, we're on fire
There we go.
today.